Hey, it's another week, another recipe, and if you've ever wondered how they made ping pong balls in the 1940s, this tiny Cob roll recipe will show you how. Come join me. Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. My name's Courtney Morris, and I cook history's forgotten recipes out of random cookbooks I find, random websites, and sometimes viewer submissions too, which are always the best. Thank you for joining me. If you're new here, I hope you enjoyed the video and join the community, and if you're coming back for more, my utmost thanks for your support. And I hope you enjoy this too. Let's go. Okay, so it's been a little bit since we have gone back to Marguerite Patton's Victory Cookbook, which is the amalgamation of a bunch of different cookbooks of hers from World War II. And I absolutely love it. Although I'm finding out that a lot of these recipes tend to be good base recipes that you kind of got to doctor up. However, I was perusing this over Christmas break and I saw one called Cob's. And it's 3 ingredients, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be the fastest video I've ever made. I'm not entirely sure what this is supposed to be. It says it's an excellent substitution for bread, and from what it sounds like, it has the underpinnings of an American biscuit, but I'm not entirely sure because it doesn't say to roll out, and it might be a drop biscuit, maybe. You're supposed to eat it immediately. This could either taste like extreme World War II poverty, or it could taste like the beginnings of a fantastic breakfast. First of all, just want to point out yours truly got some new mixing bowls for Christmas and a few other kitchen items that I'm so excited about that actually look nice. So I'm feeling fancy today. All right, so we're gonna start with 8 ounces of self-rising flour, or if you're like me and don't have self-rising flour, you add 2 teaspoons of baking powder with it. I'm just using the Clabber Girl one that was available. And you want to sift these together before you mix in anything else. And then a pinch of salt. And I heard somewhere that a pinch of salt meant a 1/4 teaspoon. I don't know if that's true or not, but I figure that's about as much as you can grab with your pincher fingers. But the reason I am thinking this might be kind of a precursor to an American biscuit is because the preparation is pretty close. It's baking powder, salt, flour, milk, and butter. And that's pretty dang close to what we put sausage gravy on in the mornings. But it does say rub in the margarine, and there is a note that says these are excellent when made with butter instead of margarine. And well, you know, if you watched anything, you know that butter is a thing in my house and margarine just isn't, because I keep forgetting. So we're just gonna rub this in. And if you watched any other videos that involve biscuity things or cutting in butter, it's best to just do it with your hand. You can use a pastry cutter, but I still don't have one of those. But honestly, I think your hands are the best tool that you can use. You can really start to feel and see at the same time your consistencies. And honestly, without trying to be cheesy, I think it really does help with the made with love part of things. If for any reason you're wondering why my hair is down today, it's because my hair tie broke and I didn't have another one, but I'm sure wishing I had one right now. I'm in dire need of a haircut and it's getting in my way. So your end result when you're cutting in butter should result in a coarse, sandy-like flour. This wasn't that much butter, so it's not too sandy, but it's definitely in there. There's no lumps, okay, of butter that I could actively squish with my fingers and get butter on my fingers. It's just nice and dry now. Okay, so now we need approximately a 1/4 pint or 150 milliliters of milk. Okay, so when they say approximately, it doesn't mean pour the entire thing in, because sometimes they give you too much and it gets sticky. So when you do biscuits, or in this case Cob's, it does say to add enough milk for consistency. If I'm correct in thinking that this is going to turn out like an American style biscuit, you're not going to want to put too much in, because then they will be soup. Honestly, I'm having a hard time wanting to use the rest, because if you look, I'm supposed to make dough balls out of these. The next direction says divide the dough into 10 to 12 portions and roll into balls. Obviously, I'm going to have a floured surface, but I don't want it so sticky that I don't want to have to add too much flour, because if you do that to anything that has flour, you're going to end up with a very dense, rock-like product. These must be very tiny, because this is a very small amount of dough. Okay, I think I'm going to stop there. I think I'm only going to use the 100 mils. So I have to go put this hair out of my face real quick, and I'm going to wash my hands before I get dough in it. Now it says to divide the dough into 12 portions, roll into balls, and place on a baking tray and cook for 10 minutes or until brown and firm. And I'm going to, it doesn't say to do this, but just from experience, I'd like to not have to peel my dough balls off of my cutting board. I feel like this only took like 5 minutes because, I mean, normally when I have a quick recipe, it always takes longer when I'm filming. But I really feel like I'm gonna be done in another 10 minutes here. Okay, so I'm just gonna pinch off about 10 equal sections and then make them look a little more uniform after I do. While I do this, I hope you guys had a great New Year's. I hope you had great holiday celebrations. I hope you made it through the weather. My goodness, it was awful. We don't usually get too bad of weather here in the Pacific Northwest. It's usually pretty mild, which is one of the reasons I really like living here. See, we had an ice skating rink for 2 days and now we're back up to 50 and rainy like normal. So the rest of the country here is getting hit pretty hard with stuff. So I wish you well and good luck. And I hope this brings you a little joy and know that you could make tiny cobs while you're waiting for the weather to get better. Okay, so it just says to roll into balls. It doesn't say to push through like a dinner roll. It just says to just roll it. And it says place on a baking tray. Also, by the way, feeling fancy, I was also gifted some new baking trays. And I'm so excited because they actually look, they're not all they're not all scraped up or dinged up, and they actually look nice. I am a very practical person when it comes down to just about everything. But it's nice to have things that look nice sometimes. Which is kind of a problem when you're a pragmatist like myself, because I kind of tend to use things until they like literally die. But then I have a whole bunch of stuff that just looks like crap, but they're still useful. So I have to start remembering that it's okay to have nice things and it's okay to replace old looking things. I don't know. I just don't like to waste. I'm confused a little bit because they're not drop biscuits. They're not regular American biscuits, and they're rolled like cookie dough. So I don't know. I don't know what this is going to do. It doesn't say to brush it or give it an egg wash or anything like that. These might be better for throwing than they will be for eating, but we shall see. So I'm going to go put this in my 450-degree oven for 10 minutes or until they feel firm or golden brown and crisp. And it says to eat it when freshly baked, so we're going to burn our mouths on this the second they come out because that's just what I do. I'll be back when they're done. Okay, these are right out of the oven and they're still a little hot to handle, so I'm going to give them a couple minutes, but while I do that, I will explain what I did in the interim. I used my time wisely and I actually looked up what cob meant in bread making and why that's a thing. Apparently, it means to make a rounded, stout loaf that looks like a cobblestone. It's apparently where we get the term cob from. And I didn't realize that that was a thing because I make soda bread every so often and you put an X in it, and apparently that's a Coburg shape of a cob. Basically meaning you just have a lump of dough without a barrier, like you don't put it in a pan, it's just a whoop. And these are mini whoops. So they're more like coblets, but I guess that would be French and not English. So they smell like bread. They're not, they don't look like dinner rolls. They don't look like biscuits. They look more like something that I would like. They do open up nicely. They're kind of fluffy in the middle. They smell very plain. They don't even smell, I mean, they smell kind of like a biscuit, but not as good. Not that I'm saying it smells bad, but it definitely doesn't smell as biscuity. But all right, well, let's give it a try. Everybody likes warm bread. I mean, you can't go wrong with that, right? Oh my God. This, my friends, is what World War II poverty tastes like. Absolutely nothing. It doesn't taste, it tastes like baking powder, kind of. The texture is nice. It reminds, actually, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a dumpling. It reminds me, the flavor reminds me of a dumpling that you would put in soup, but like an unflavored dumpling. I could see possibly, I feel like this is like the bottom of the barrel of the biscuits or rolls that you could make. That being said, however, given wartime, given the rationing, given the make something out of nothing. These would be easy, fast, cheap to make for kids, like on the side of some soup or something like that. But in that case, why wouldn't you just have wholemeal bread? Although, I don't know, maybe if you were tired of wholemeal bread. I'm still a little confused, and I really just kind of want to pelt my camera person over here with one of these, but I'll be nice to her. She's only 9. She does all my B-roll shots right now, and I kind of need her still, so I don't want to knock her out with one of these. Also, they have 0 nutritional value. This is all just white flour. There's no egg, there's no protein. I mean, this is calories. These are tiny little calorie balls. Will I be making these again? No, I don't think so. The amount that grown men and teenage boys eat is otherworldly, and I could see them sitting and eating this whole thing by themselves, plus whatever was served with it. So I'm not sure. I'm confused on this. I don't have a clear picture of what I'd use this for, but I'm gonna keep this in the back of my head because of how easy this was. Like, for instance, I started filming at 9:30 this morning, and it's now 10:30. Like, the whole process has taken me an hour, which is really short in video time because normally it takes me a long time to produce something. We know they're edible, they're cheap, fast, and easy, and if that's what you're looking for, here you go. Could you doctor them up a little? Heck yeah. But if you are still here, I hope you enjoyed that. That was the fastest video I think I've ever done. But as always, I appreciate your support. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for everything, and I hope you had a great winter break, even though it's still winter. Next week, I want to try Boston brown bread. I found a recipe from the early 19th century from a Boston cooking school, but I'm having a hard time sourcing graham flour. If any of you guys know where I can get graham flour in the Pacific Northwest, please let me know. I might have to order it off Amazon because I'm striking out. I can't seem to find it. So if you know, let me know. I hope you liked this video enough to come join the community, hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the little bell notification. It helps everybody involved, and I'd love to see you here again for another experimental recipe. If you need something else to watch before the next time I see you, go ahead and click here. This was a really, really good recipe. Just hear me out, watch the video. It was absolutely delicious, and I hope that you have a great week. I will see you next time. Bye.